The 18th Home King had two daughters, Tianzong and Nuofa, who are the two most well-known princesses. They are accredited for showing the people how to grow rice. There is a well on the Hong site grounds, said to be where the two princesses used to hang out. They would sit by the well, admire themselves in the reflection of the water, and comb their hair. In the 18th century, a temple was built to honor the princesses around the well, attracting thousands of visitors to this place.
Now, thousands of people are coming to the home temple site every day, and to deal with the influx, they've been putting a lot into infrastructure. Now, one of the things that they've done is 3 months ago, they started using these convenient little minibuses, and they help transport you around. It saves you the 3-kilometer trek it would take to get to the Oko temple.
This is this woman's first time visiting the Oku mountain. While she was born in the area, she now lives far away and has made the trip back to visit the temple to pray for the well-being of her family.
All right, so we finally made it. Now it's 553 steps to get to the Oku temple here. There's a very good reason for that. That's because the Vietnamese believe that the first step means birth and the second step means death. So you have to finish on an odd number because you wouldn't want your last step to end with death. Now it's time to have a look at this and see what the Oku temple is all about.
Here in the temple, people bring offerings of money and incense to pay tribute to the ancestor accredited with starting it all. While usually men are put in charge of keeping temples, 2 women take charge of this one, appropriately since it pays tribute to the Vietnamese people's mother. I noticed that it's mostly women who are praying at this site. Other than the usual hands together and bow, there is a special and tricky Vietnamese prayer that I had a chance to witness. The person has 2 coins on a plate, each coin having a yin and a yang side. The 2 coins start off facing the same side up, and the person who prays tosses the coins to try to get them to land opposite faces up. Now, if you can get it on the first or second time, better luck to you. If it takes a few more tries, they say chances are your prayers won't come true.
All right, so here we are at the Lac Lam Quan temple. Now you can see the project is still in construction. Now, while they started it last year and they expect to be finished in 2009, right now they're a little short of funds since the whole project is going to cost 100 billion dong. Now we know that Oku brought her 50 children up to the mountain, and so that's why we have her temple up in the mountain. Now, Lac Lam Quan, after the split, brought his 50 children out to the sea, which is why this temple faces south, which faces the sea. And now also they plan to build around many lakes to symbolize him bringing his children out to the sea.
I was surprised to hear that this is the first temple to be built in honor of Lac Lam Quan. You would think the father of Vietnamese people would have had something built already, especially in a male-dominated society. We asked the museum director about this, and he said that Oku has always been more highly regarded. You see, at the time when she laid the 100 eggs, society was still in its primitive state, with tribes operating in a hunter-gatherer society. In this kind of society, women's role was just as valued as men's in their contributions. It wasn't until the Bronze Age, when metallic tools were invented and division of labor began, that the men's place in society started to be more highly regarded.
Now, of all the old buildings that we visited, I've come across a very modern one. This is the museum. First opened in 2003, it is one of the newest buildings here, but I think inside we're going to find some things that are thousands of years old.
Bronze drums like this one were originally used to signal the start of battle. This one dates back 23 to 2600 years, putting it in the home era. Now a good look at the drum reveals the detailed bronze work they were already capable of thousands of years ago. But the artwork isn't just a sign of their talent. The pictures also tell the story of what daily life was like in the home era. For instance, people growing rice and dealing with floods. In the center of the drum is a sun, as the drum was also used in worship. I'm told that Vietnamese ancestors believed they should pray to the sun for a good year. Now this giant urn also dates back around as far as the drum. When archaeologists first found the urn, they looked inside and found another urn, and inside that urn they found human ashes. This is how archaeologists came to believe the urn was used for cremation. Now an object like this costing a lot in trade, there was no currency during the Han era, they imagined this kind of cremation was reserved for only the wealthiest families. Items like these help Vietnamese to understand the level of civilization that existed during the home era.
Now, if there's one thing I've come to understand about the Vietnamese people, it's the profound respect they have for their ancestors. In almost every Vietnamese home, you'll find a shrine dedicated to their ancestors, and the home temple site is very much like a giant shrine that pays respect to the kings and the deities that are the cradle of Vietnamese civilization. Now, since the site here was officially recognized as a spot for the birthplace of the nation, and since the festival here became the official national holiday, thousands of Vietnamese are coming every day, and that number is increasing. Last year alone, the Vietnamese donated 10 billion dong out of pure generosity to the site. All this to say that there's no denying the profound respect that the Vietnamese have for their ancestors and their roots. I think it's the strength that's kept the Vietnamese strong and proud.